and I
Oh yeah.
feel, I feel humbled by your presence, so I'm getting a little bit nervous.
Oh man, don't worry about it. I'm pretty new too, honestly. I don't.
Thank you, man.
That's funny. I don't think I've ever had someone say that before. I appreciate it.
Okay, so welcome everybody. We're here with Shane Denhardt from Evil Building Games, and it's a pleasure to be here with him. And I'm humbled by his presence. My name is Peter or Pedro or whatever you want to call me. Thank you, Shane Denhardt, for having me. Shane, thank you for this
Yeah.
call, man. Thank you.
Thanks for inviting me. This is a great intro. So thanks. I appreciate
Yeah, I've
being
been
here
learning
and
a little bit. So,
yeah.
well, first of all, I want to tell everybody that Shane Denhardt, um, I think are you the director of Able Building Games? What's your main role there?
I mean, you could say director. I think we're really small, so it's me. I tend to do most of the code, so I guess I'm more heavy on the coder side. And then there's Kirill Pashev, who's doing most of the artwork. I'd say he does probably 80-90% of the artwork. I do the other 10-20%. And then it's Bijan Hennessy is our music and sound effects guy. Um, so pretty much I handle everything that they don't do. Um, if
That's
that
cool,
makes sense.
man. What platform do you use to make games?
Right. Yeah. So we're using Unity. We were using 2017, we upgraded 2018, and then 2019 when our first game came out, and we're currently still using 2019. Um, so yeah, we've been mostly
That's
using
really cool, man.
Unity. Yeah.
Yes, and the reason why I said that I'm humbled by your presence is because you already dropped your first game, which was Raven's Path, and you finished it, and it looks really cool, and that's something that all developers want to accomplish. We all want to get to that level where you are already drop your first game. It's finished. It looks good. It's just incredible, man. We all want to get to that point. Right now, I'm trying it, and there's no turning back. Once you feel that emotion and creating your own fantasy. So, talk to me a little bit about how the Raven's Path come to exist. How did it like pop up in your team's mind, and how long did it take? And and lastly, how do you feel about it now?
Yeah. So I think I'll start by just addressing. Yeah, I think finishing a game is definitely the big first accomplishment for getting into development, and we kicked around like a lot of things that were way too complicated to finish before Raven's Path, and we weren't taking it too seriously back then. So we were just, oh, we'll make this huge open world 3D game, and a lot of this stuff that never got finished. So Raven's Path was sort of the first thing that we were like, okay, let's plan something that we know we'll be able to finish eventually and actually ship. So that was kind of the original uh, like passion behind doing that is was just like, let's do something realistic. Um, we still kind of overplanned it, so we had all these features. We had like an online feature planned at some point, which never made it into the game. And yeah, ultimately it's much more fully featured than I think someone should aim for for their first game. It took us 4 years, so that's a lot of time to be pouring into your first project. But I think now after we put it out, it feels really good to have something done. It helps lend
Yeah,
our
because
company a lot of legitimacy, and we got a lot of connections out
because
of it.
you got 1K plus downloads, and it's like 4.5 stars right now on the Google Play store, Play Store.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's nice to have gotten some. some legitimate intention to see people playing. I think seeing someone playing your game that you don't know, especially if you see like a YouTuber playing your game that you don't know, is a big milestone. Um, it's a big it's a big world, so you need a lot more than like 1K downloads is a lot. It's a lot of people. You picture 1,000 people, it's a lot of people. But if you really want something to do well on the financial level, you kind of need a lot more. Um, so it's you kind of I think you adjust to each step as you go, and I think what you said earlier about not when you take that first step, you can't go back is definitely true. You got to just keep going. So I don't know. Right now we're kind of in this. We're starting new projects, so we're kind of like trying to feel that and get away from Raven's Path a little bit. But it's been really cool seeing it out there and like being done with it, and you just feel like you have more confidence. I think confidence is the biggest thing we got out of that whole project, honestly, and people like fans. We have all these people we know now, and it's you just feel immersed. It's like before we started that project, we weren't immersed in the community, and now at the end of it, it feels like if I have a problem, I have like 50 people I can go to ask, and everybody's really supportive. So that's great. Um,
Yep, no doubt. No doubt at all, man. I can even just picture and imagine and almost feel that confidence, and I pay my respects to you. Yeah, so let's talk a bit about Raven's Path. Like I'm gonna put right here, like actually what you're seeing now is my gameplay of Raven's Path. But I played Raven's Path for the first time, and I couldn't believe the genius. It's amazing. It's a cool game. It's actually really interesting, and it has a style of art that it's not so common, and it has like originality to its characters, and also it's fun, man. It's a fun game. It's if you play it, you will love it, or like it nonetheless. And aside from not having time, what's the biggest issue that you encountered with during the making, and also at the time that you exported it?
um, so we had a few issues. First of all, I appreciate you saying all that. It's that's actually pretty. It's really neat to hear. After we finished everything, that someone's enjoying it, so that's good. Yeah, we had a lot of trouble with sort of platform stuff towards the end in terms of like putting it on uh, iOS and Android, and then we actually had a publisher at one point. We were trying to get to help us market it, and they really wanted us to put it on consoles and PC. Uh, and you've seen the game. It's a portrait game, so it only runs in portrait. It's very hard to get that to you're an artist, so trying to get all that art to be horizontal is gonna be you basically have to redraw everything, all the backgrounds and stuff. Uh, they also wanted controller support, which game's very heavy on touchscreen. Yeah, so we kind of boxed ourselves out of a lot of opportunities because we kept it we built it so specifically for Android and iOS. So that was a big problem for us. And then also marketing. I mean, marketing I think for every indie is just so complicated. It's like, do you
Yes.
get a publisher? Do you pay a marketing firm? Do you pay for ads? Or do you just try and do like a guerrilla marketing campaign where you post stuff and try and get the word out manually? So we did a lot of manual work, and we attempted to get a couple publishers on board, but ultimately it was kind of hard to they all had sort of conditions that we couldn't quite meet because of the way we planned the project originally. Um, so I think a lot of stuff that we didn't know about when we started kind of bit us in the ass on the way out. um, uh, and yeah, ultimately we ended up splurging for a few Google ads, which sort of paid themselves back, but didn't make us profit. So we were sort of into, it's nice to at least get free exposure, that amount of free exposure. But the uh, mobile market is an industry that sort of, if you want to market on the mobile market, you have to pay quite a lot in a burst in order to get your app up to the top of a list. Um, so if you want to be competitive, we actually had a publisher tell us that they're not going to do a mobile marketing campaign for us because that usually costs $50,000 a day for like a couple weeks, which is insane. And we can't obviously we couldn't pay anywhere close to that. Um, so in a way, we kind of got buried there on that aspect. I think that was the hardest thing for us. Um, yeah.
Yeah, and that's amazing, dude. Looking through some of the top developers now, and well, there's thousands, but I mean, some interesting stories of developers. They emerge in one common thing about economic success, and that's that you won't make it in your first game ever.
Right. Yeah.
E-
That's a good.
even
Yeah.
even yeah, even if your game looks like your game, which looks like profitable and so profitable, but it's like a law of game indie game developer. Yeah, like you must suffer several games,
Right.
and it's actually cool. But you know, we all need that money to invest on our families. That's why we need that, and to move on and to experience some new stuff, of course. But it takes time, no doubt, and it actually takes a lot of time for me to even understand. I'm trying to use Construct 3, and I'm understanding a lot more. And before that, I was using like even something easier than Construct 3, which is Pocket Game Developer. And I'm actually learning some stuff, and it gives me hope. And I'm actually making a game now. That I want to talk about. The publishing part. I wanted to give you, since you're giving me so much knowledge, and since I touched these parts where I'm talking about these top developers, I learned the more platforms, the more social media you use to share your work, the more that this natural exposure will beat versus paid paid ads or paid publishers, paid, you know, and the more you publish your games, the more you will learn about publishing. The more you make games. So that's why we need to keep on making games. And you know, I say that like I've been making games, but no, I've just been learning about the philosophy of the game designer, and I feel like I'm a game designer to the core, but I'm still making my first game. So
Uh,
just giving you that piece of advice to, to encourage you, because I know that you're also a game designer to the core, and there's no doubt about that, man. So talk to me a little bit more about the next works that you're doing. I know that you're making a 3D, kind of like a battle arena, spheric animals and shapy animals, and it looks so much fun.
yeah, I think you're absolutely right about you. The more you use your social media stuff, the better off it gets, and eventually it can sort of overcome paid marketing. That's definitely true. And one of the most valuable things about our first game was that we do have these people who bought the game and played the game and loved the game, and those people are around still. And it's great to hear from them. We hear from them. I mean, I met you through that game, and tons of other awesome people. So like that's really what making your first game is about, is getting immersed in a community, growing your social media stuff, and building that confidence. And I mean, if you're jumping around in a platformer and you have little enemies and stuff, you made a game, right? Like that counts as a game, and people will play if you can win and lose, and there's a some kind of skill involved. At least to me, that's I mean, there's other definitions of games, but that's my favorite kind of game, and people will play it, so it's worth putting out. Um, and yeah, we're working on something new right now, which is amazing. And we've got everybody from our old game sort of behind us and ready to support us. And we've been supporting them. And um, yeah, so I can reveal a little bit of that stuff. We have a devlog that we just put up. Where it's supposed to be a roguelike um, co-op experience, sort of. We're aiming for sort of like a mixture between a brawler and a twin stick game. So there will be melee weapons. There will also be ranged weapons that you can aim with the other control stick. We're targeting PC first, and hopefully other platforms along the way. Um, and yeah,
That can wrap it up. That can wrap it all. Oh, yeah,
okay,
wrap it up.
yeah, cool. Yeah, no, I really appreciate you contacting me about this, and it was nice to talk to you again because it's been a while since we last talked. Um, and I hope your game goes well. Feel free to share, uh, in our community, or I'm sure you got your own communities and stuff. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, totally. I will share it. Yeah, I just got that idea, and well, just let it go.
I
So
think the
you guys
dog
are
says
perfect.
it's over.
It's over, man. Okay, man. Just take care, man. Thank you, Shane Denhardt, for having me, and
Absolutely, man. Talk to me anytime you want. I'll be happy to help. All right. Have a good
okay,
one,
man.
Pedro.
Have a good one, Shane. Take care,
Farewell.
brother. Farewell, man.